Hello everybody and welcome back to the Jambar Sports Extra. I'm tYSU Howard. Let's get right into it. The official start to the 2025 YSU baseball season is underway. Editor-in-Chief of the Jambar, John Ostapowicz, has more.
The annual breakfast took place at 9 p.m. at the Waypoint 4180 Banquet Hall in Canfield and featured MLB World Series champion for the Cincinnati Reds, George Foster. Several members of the YSU Penguin Club, including community members, coaches, and players, were in attendance. Head coach Trevor Sharpie hosted the event for the first time and said it helps build the bond between the team and the Mahoning Valley.
It kind of builds this togetherness that we have as a unit, right? And it's like this whole community is a family. Like, it takes more than just one good player to have a baseball team.
Foster spoke to the team before and during the event. He spoke on the importance of mental health, personal experiences, and his journey to the major leagues. With several community members in attendance, senior Jacob Gearing said the yearly event is a fitting way to start the season.
And it brings the community together. We get to listen to a great speaker in George Foster this year, and I think it's just a big accumulation of everything that makes what Youngstown proud, and it kind of gets everybody going, thinking baseball even though there's snow outside.
The men's baseball team will begin its 2025 season with a 3-game series against the University of Baylor from February 14th through 16th in Waco, Texas.
The Youngstown State University men's and women's track and field teams hosted the YSU Mid-Major Invitational presented by Southwoods Health on January 31st and February 1st. In the 2-day event, the Penguins won a combined 13 events. Senior Luke Lawbaker set a meet record in the men's long jump. His jump of 7.78 meters is a personal best and ranks 11th in the country. Sophomore McKinley Fielding broke the program record in the women's mile, and fifth-year Nia Williams-Matthews set a school record in the women's triple jump. Junior Milena Shoemaker had a season-best performance to win the women's pole vault. After the event, Lawbaker and Williams-Matthews were named Under Armour Horizon League Track and Field Indoor Athletes of the Week. Youngstown State will travel to the Michigan Invitational on February 8th. 4 years after the NCAA adopted rules allowing student athletes to profit from their personal brand, YSU athletes have experienced great success. Jambar reporter Jacqueline Arroyo has the details.
YSU offers many student athletes the opportunity to earn money off their name, image, or likeness. These come through Open Doors, the NIL Shop, or the Penguin Collective. During the 2024 year, 50 student athletes from YSU men's and women's basketball, football, and softball teams signed NIL deals through the Penguin Collective, earning a combined $515,000. Tyler Burke, Director of Compliance and Director of the NIL, helps educate students on their opportunities no matter the position or sport they play in securing deals.
Kind of getting across the point, like, you don't need to be either have 50,000 followers or be a star player in one of the top sports.
Student athletes have the opportunity to look for deals that interest them, or they can even be approached by companies about deals regarding their NIL. The Penguin Collective provides enhanced NIL opportunities for student athletes by collaborating with businesses and connecting them with student athletes. Ty Petrie, Business Development Coordinator for the Penguin Collective, provides student athletes with advice on how to get deals.
We give them some, I don't want to say scripts, but things that they can say or do around the community to reach out to potentially get more deals.
Along with connecting student athletes with companies, the Penguin Collective also helps them with their taxes. Students are essentially running a business, and some aspects can be considered a business write-off. As of the spring 2025 semester, the Penguin Collective only works in men's and women's basketball, football, and softball. But in the future, they have hopes of working with other athletes in different sports. For Jambar TV, I'm Jacqueline Arroyo.
The YSU men's tennis team remained undefeated as it traveled to Cumberland, Rhode Island on January 31st and February 1st for 2 matches against Bryant University and Coles College. The first match against the Bulldogs featured a 3-0 rally by the Penguins as they won the contest 4-3. The Penguins swept the Bison with a 7-0 win as they picked up 6 singles contest victories and secured the doubles point. Youngstown State will return home for 6 consecutive matches. The competition begins with a doubleheader at 10 a.m. on February 8th against the University of Toledo and 5 p.m. against Walsh University inside the YSU Tennis Center. Even when the game pauses, the performance never stops. YSU hosts a variety of halftime acts during basketball games. Jambar contributor Keon Eddington shows us the fan experience.
tYSU athletic department works to bring extravagant acts to perform in front of a live audience. Recently, speed painter Cody Sable wowed the crowd with his painting of Pete the Penguin.
I was able to get the proportions correctly because with the logo, there's not really room for error.
Sable has performed at many events such as NASCAR, Formula One, and NHL hockey. Sable combines speed and precision to make his paintings a strong composition.
You paint the most important defining, you want to get the subject down correctly. Those would sort of be the things that I focus on the most, take the most time on, and then the speed portion comes in with the stuff that doesn't change the subject's appearance.
The halftime entertainment acts offers fans a spectacle during intermission, enhancing fan experience. Assistant Athletic Director Chris Summer says getting the performances set up is a process.
They'll reach out to us just because I'm in the marketing department, and they'll just kind of reach out and say, hey, do you have any interest in our act? And I always kind of just go back and forth with them and work on different budgets with them and work on pricing. And if it fits their schedule, like if they're in the area, they'll work on us with pricing. And if it fits our budget and fits their schedule, that's basically how we go about. But I try to get at least one or two national acts just because it's very unique for Youngstown to have that.
YSU has since added sponsors to cover the costs, including Bull and Bear Restaurant.
So they gave us a sponsorship dollar to cover the cost. So Bull and Bear got all the advertising associated with the halftime act, and we were able to purchase that act.
In addition to national acts, YSU offers a teddy bear toss in the holiday season and showcases college band and high school performers.
We'll reach out to dance groups and karate studios and youth basketballs, teams that have come out for years and years and years. So it's kind of just a tradition for them. So they'll sometimes even reach out to us, in the off season and be like, hey, can you please send me over the schedule when you get it? We like to get our game scheduled, and they'll schedule a month or two in advance. So there's a lot of repeat, acts and groups that come back every year. So it makes our job a little bit easier. And then we just kind of, we'll reach out to different youth basketball teams and just try to have something for every game. We work, with on campus, some campus groups like our YSU hip hop team. They'll do some performances, or we'll do a student cornhole tournament. To try to get some groups involved on campus. We'll do some high school Jam the Gym days.
YSU halftime shows will feature The Amazing Tyler on January 30th and the Performance Dogs of Ohio on February 12th. For Jambar TV, I'm Keon Eddington.
The YSU women's tennis team traveled to Las Vegas on February 1st and 2nd to face Weber State, UNLV, and Oral Roberts at the Fertitta Tennis Complex. The Penguins marked their first win in program history against the Golden Eagles with a 5-2 victory. At number 4, senior Goddard Deeringer won 6-2 and 6-4, while number 5, junior Joanna Dubova picked up a 6-1 and 6-4 victory. Number 1, senior Julia Marco claimed her first win of the day in her first set with a score of 6-1 before falling in the second 6-2. Marco later won her third set 6-2, taking the match. Youngstown State returned to the Fertitta Complex February 2nd to take on the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Trailing 2-0 at the beginning of the day, Marco earned 2 straight wins at number 1 singles as junior Lene Grayland fought hard in a set of 3 for the number 6 victory in singles. Youngstown State returns to action at home against the University of Buffalo on February 7th at the YSU Tennis Center. The first serve is at 3 p.m. In their last 2 contests, the YSU men's basketball team has had a total point differential of just 7 points. Sports editor Dylan Lux breaks down their recent nail-biting finishes. Dylan, it's all yours.
Thanks, Isaiah. Following a bye week for the Quins, the team returned to action on January 30th for a matchup with Wright State, who's coming off a 67-50 victory. Wright State's lead got as high as 18 after allowing 9 first-half threes, but the Penguins waddled their way back, making it just a 3-point game. With 19 seconds left, the Raiders led 86-85. Senior E.J. Farmer drove to the hoop but gathered attention from the defense, helping junior Jawan Maxey find open space in the corner. Maxey buried the three ball with just 3 seconds remaining, and Wright State was unable to respond. Maxey said it was a good feeling to hit the three.
It felt great, obviously. It was just coming down to finding an open spot. EJ found me, and it worked out in our favor.
Head coach Ethan Faulkner gave credit to Maxey, saying he deserved to take this shot for the Quins.
He puts in the work. When I walk in the building every morning at about 8 o'clock, he's in here shooting. And he's a guy that he's continued to work.
2 days later, on February 1st, the Penguins took on the IU Indy Jaguars. YSU struggled from 3 in the contest, shooting 2 for 13 in the first half and 2 for 14 in the second half at just a 15% shooting clip. As a result, the Jaguars came away victorious, 84-79, dropping Youngstown State to 8-5 in conference play. YSU looked to bounce back on the road against 2 conference foes from up north. They took on Oakland University on Thursday, February 6th, and Detroit Mercy on Saturday, February 8th. Stats from the games can be found on YSUsports.com. Youngstown State will return to action again at home for a matchup with Purdue-Fort Wayne on Wednesday, February 12th. The game will be broadcasted live on ESPN Plus and 570 WKBN. And for Jambar Sports Extra, I'm Dylan Lux. Tizaya, let's send it back to you.
Thanks, Dylan. A lot of sports to unpack, but we'll be back after the break.
Why Youngstown State University? Because when it comes to the skills you need to take your place in the world, we take a backseat to nobody. Youngstown State University. Now you know why.
Why Youngstown State University? Because I'm getting a top-tier education without the price tag. I can do anything here. I know why. It's not a question, it's the answer. Youngstown State University. Know why.
Welcome back. As one chapter ends, another begins. Sam Ott is starting her journey at YSU as a graduate assistant volleyball coach. Jambar contributor Keon Eddington gives us the start of the ride.
As a player, Sam Ott was a star for the Wright State University. She led the team to 4 regular season titles. Ott said she always had a passion for coaching.
Volleyball has pretty much been like a huge part of my life since I was like 9 years old. I started playing, my sisters played before that, so I've always been around it, and I've always had like the idea of maybe wanting to be a coach, and so I kind of wanted to just try it out essentially and like see if that was something that I wanted to pursue, which is kind of why I'm here.
Travers Green, Ott's coach at WSU, said while playing for the Raiders, Ott displayed several leadership qualities.
She stepped up a lot more this past season as a leader on the team, and so that shows a little bit more of the initiative and desire to lead and to coach, because just understanding how difficult it can be in a leadership position in terms of being able to set expectations and then be able to either hold players accountable to those expectations.
Ott described why she chose YSU, highlighting the different environment and staff.
I thought YSU was a really good opportunity with the new coaching staff. There's a lot of new change, and I thought that overall it was a good opportunity for me to get into a program that is rebuilding, that's growing, and like learning from like the bottom and learning how to grow your way to the top.
Along with her passion for coaching, Ott, now pursuing a master in business, had other reasons for becoming a Penguin.
I live in Cleveland, so I'm about an hour away. And I wanted to be closer to home. I'm a pretty big homebody, so I love being at home. So Wright State was just a little too far. I lived there for 5 years. It was just a lot.
Ott says she recognizes the work it takes to be a successful coach.
I think being a student athlete today is really hard. There's a lot on your plate, and I think being a coach is super hard as well. I've learned that. It's definitely a different part of the game, but I just think that overall, it's a privilege and an honor to be either a coach or an athlete and to get to have those interactions day and day, and just being grateful for having those experiences, being a player and now as a coach too.
Green said elite athletes often have a challenge making this coaching transition.
I think it's really hard for, super high level elite players to coach because, they largely have figured it out, right? And sometimes, even elite performers don't know fully how they figured it out.
The YSU volleyball season begins in August. For Jambar TV, I'm Keon Eddington.
Here at the Jambar Sports Extra, we appreciate everyone who tapped into our show. We'll be back in a couple of weeks for the next Jambar Sports Extra. Carpe diem, Penguins.